Today on 7th Circle Gaming, we're going to be doing something a little bit different and a little bit special. We will be analyzing not the full version of a game, instead we will be analyzing a demonstration version of the game. And the game that we're going to be looking at is NWO, or New World Order, Anarchy Collapsed. Because we will be analyzing a demonstration version, the rules are a little bit different. We will not be assigning scores to any of our usual categories because, well, it doesn't seem fair to assign scores to something that is not a full release version, and everything about the game could change between now and its final release. Don't, however, think that that's going to affect our objectivity. We will begin the video, as we always do here, with full disclosure. You're welcome to pause the video and read through all of these at your leisure, but if reading isn't exactly your thing, just let the video run. In this gameplay footage that we're sharing with you now, we aim to illustrate as many of the game's features as we possibly can. For that reason, it's really not necessary to examine or pay too close attention to the user interface, as there is a screenshot coming up later in the video that will allow us to examine that in greater detail. Instead, what we would suggest focusing on is the pace at which the player is making decisions in the game, or in the gameplay footage, as well as the menus that are available for players to examine and attempt to optimize. One quick side note here is that the game is currently in a pause state, allowing the player to make decisions at their own pace. That's all the gameplay footage we have to share with you on this video, so let's now move on to the screenshot that we mentioned earlier. We're going to start off by saying that it's pretty obvious that the game's overworld is the planet Earth as it exists today. Starting off this brief discussion of the user interface, at the top left hand corner we have the country overview button. Not an unusual place for it. At the top center of the screen we have the economic health of the country, and at the top right hand corner of the screen we have what we're going to call the system menu, because it includes not only the system menu but also the time management or the time dilation features and the different map overlays. At the bottom left hand corner we have the build menu, and at the bottom right hand corner we have a quest log of sorts, but also the diplomatic functions of the game. In addition to a number of randomly occurring natural disasters and other events, players have the ability to activate various faction-wide bonuses that the game refers to as policies. These are only temporary bonuses, and it does appear that they stack, so players can select multiples of the same policies for an additional bonus. That's all the gameplay footage and screenshots that we have to share with you on this video, so let's now move on to our first proper chapter, which, as it always is, even in this case, immersion. The one additional note that we do have on this particular chapter is that players have the option of selecting from between 4 to 6 faction leaders, all with their own specific bonuses. These faction leaders have various degrees of historicity, ranging from historically inspired to leaning more into the absurd. That's all for immersion, so let's now move on and discuss difficulty. We do have one or two additional notes on this particular chapter. First of all, we did appreciate that full country selection was restricted until players had completed the tutorial. Additional to that, we would state that over the course of our evaluation sessions, it did seem as there was an optimal playstyle, although it's possible that that was based or dependent upon the level of difficulty that we had selected. Let's now move on to our last chapter, which, as it always is around here, is Lasting Appeal. About this chapter, there really isn't anything additional to add from all of our evaluation sessions. Everything seemed to be very straightforward and self-explanatory. Ordinarily, this final chapter of the video would be overall score, where we compile everything and summarize our thoughts, but since we aren't assigning scores to anything in this game, it's much more like final thoughts. So, let's pull out the salt and get subjective. Despite the laundry list of issues that we have with the game, starting off with the name of the game sounding like a 1990s to early 2000s pay-per-view wrestling special, maybe NWO Earth United or NWO Unification would be a better name for the game. The factions not feeling as unique as we would like to see them. We don't have the unique units that other games of the genre have conditioned us to expect. We also have the appearance of AI art and AI writing, which some players are not going to like. The thing that came up over and over again is the phrase, "Yeah, but it's fun." So, for the right price, we do feel, and this is again highly subjective, that it's a fantastic game for players that have always been kind of curious about the grand strategy genre, but aren't ready to jump into one of the really in-depth games that the genre has. Easy absolutely feels like easy, normal feels like normal difficulty, and as long as players can overlook some of the issues with the grammar, like the placement of the currency symbol, which is after the number as opposed to in front of the number, which is the convention in English-speaking countries, and the utilization of AI, the game is an easy recommendation, again for players that have been curious about the genre but are looking for a gateway game. Well then, on that final highly subjective note, we do offer our hearty congratulations to everyone who watched all the way to the end of the video. We do have a lot of other analyses on the channel which you're welcome to take a look at. If you liked anything that we've said here, or everything that we've said here, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe for more analyses like this. Thanks, and from 7th Circle Gaming, goodbye.